Hey everybody, welcome to Criminality. Today I am going to give you an update on the case of Natalee Holloway, who went missing in 2005 while on vacation in Aruba. Most know the story and have always suspected Johan van der Sloot to be the culprit, but today he had to admit it in a courtroom in the United States of America, closing an 18-year cold case, but most importantly, giving closure to Natalee's parents, Beth and David. Here we go. So I'll give you guys just a short synopsis in case you guys aren't familiar with the Natalee Holloway disappearance, or if maybe you've just forgotten because it has been 18 years. So in May of 2005, Natalee Holloway, who was from Alabama, went on a high school graduation trip with some of her friends to Aruba. While she was there, she met Johan van der Sloot, who was actually Dutch and from the Netherlands, who was living in Aruba at the time with his father. She spent one of her evenings there hanging out with him and two of his friends who were brothers, and there was surveillance video of her hanging out with Johan and his friends. Her friends, as they were getting ready to leave the next day to come home, realized that she was not there. She had not been there. So they started looking for her and contacted her parents. Her parents flew down there and were devastated as they were trying to find their daughter. And when it came to light that the last people she was with was van der Sloot and these brothers, they were interviewed and said, nope, we dropped her off at her hotel and we went back, home and did whatever we were doing. Never saw her again. Van der Sloot was arrested, but let go due to lack of evidence. And there was a lot of speculation on Johan's father and his political connections in Aruba, and many thought that Johan was just going to get away with it because of who he was the son to. In 2010, Johan van der Sloot contacted the attorney that was representing Beth Holloway, who is Natalee's mother, and said if she was to give him $250,000, he would disclose what happened to Natalee and the location of her remains. Obviously, Beth was skeptical, but at the same time hopeful that she might get some answers, and they decided to pay him. They initially had sent over $100 just to check and see if the account was actually real. And when they realized it was, they gave him $25,000 with the stipulation that the family attorney, would head to Aruba and van der Sloot would tell him where Natalee's remains could be located. They would give him the $225,000 that was remaining once she was located. But the $25,000 was enough for him. He didn't care, and nothing ever came of it. And Natalee's family was left with no answers and lost $25,000 in the hope that they were going to get some. Johan van der Sloot was, like I told you earlier, was not from Aruba, and so he continued to move around and landed in Peru. While in Peru, he met a young lady named Stephanie Flores Ramirez, and he ended up going to prison in Peru for her murder.
The bombshell confession came late last night. Under intense questioning, the 22-year-old Johan reportedly told investigators that he attacked Stephanie Flores. He grabbed her by the neck when she took his laptop, he said, and started reading articles about him on the internet. I did not want to do it, he tearfully admitted. The girl intruded into my private life. She had no right. I confronted her. She was frightened. We argued, and she wanted to get away. I grabbed her by her neck, and I hit her.
So now that he's serving his sentence in Peru, he was finally extradited to the United States this year to face extortion charges that were brought against him for trying to get money from Natalee Holloway's family. Van der Sloot has now decided to take a plea deal on the extortion charges, but being very smart, the family said no deal unless you tell us what happened to Natalee and you tell us the truth this time, because he has said many versions of many things that he has done or didn't do, or he's admitted it, then taken it back and said it was all a joke, and he's not right in the head. So they hook him up to a polygraph and they ask him the questions about what happened that night that Natalee disappeared. And he tells them that the two brothers dropped him and Natalee off a little ways away from the Marriott hotel that she was staying at. They were making out on the beach. He started feeling her up. She did not like that, and he kept doing it anyway. She kneed him in the crotch, so he stood up and kicked her in the face. He wasn't sure if she was just unconscious or if she was possibly dead from the kick to the face. So he saw a giant cinder block nearby, and he picked it up and smashed her face with it. He says it was dark, but he's pretty sure he saw her face collapse. He says that he was scared and he didn't know what to do, so he dragged her body to the ocean and walked out into the ocean with her body and shoved it out to sea, and then just walked home. And as you can imagine, over the 18 years it's been since Natalee disappeared, there's been many stories around that night. Johan has confessed, he has taken it back, he has said he's innocent, he has told the family random things about the night that ultimately nobody knew if it was true or not. Other people have come forward claiming that they know what happened, sending both of her parents, both of Natalee's parents, on wild goose chases all over the world. But today, for the first time in 18 years, Natalee's mom, Beth, has a smile on her face as she tells us they got the guy.
Well, today I can tell you with certainty that after 18 years, Natalee's case, it's solved. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. It's over. Johan Vandersloot is no longer the suspect in my daughter's murder. He is the killer. In the course of his felony prosecution, here for extortion and wire fraud indictment, he gave a proffer in which he finally confessed that he killed Natalee. He described when and how he killed her. And he said that after killing her on the beach in Aruba, he put her into the water, and that was the last that he ever saw her. That was all verified by a comprehensive and conclusive polygraph test. Even with this confession, though, he can't be tried here for Natalee's murder. But I'm satisfied knowing that he did it alone, and he disposed of her alone. His sentence of the extortion and the wire fraud will run concurrently with his sentence in Peru for killing Stephanie Flores. And that's fine with me. I got the answer I've been searching for the past 18 years. Johan Vandersloot's confession means we have finally reached the end of our never-ending nightmare. And for me, reaching the end of the nightmare, being over, is better than closure. It's been 18 years since Natalee disappeared, and Natalee would be 36 years old today. I still miss her every day. It's been a very long and painful journey, but we finally got the answers we've been searching for all these years. We finally, today, we got justice for Natalee. So thank you all so very much and being supportive of us in our long 18-year journey. Thank you.
Who's our special guest today?
It's Hootie.
Hootie Hoo Holloway.
Hi, friend. Just, sitting in the bed, cruising over to my place. The beach was a blast. I had the best time of my life.